Still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? Just some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
So welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. 'Cause these are my people.
Hey y'all, it's the Big Good Show. We're here with our special guest is Lady Liberty Foundation. This is the founders of Lady Liberty Foundation, Larry and Noel, and we're gonna dive into the stuff that us as a foundation does. So I want to know from you guys, what brought you guys to bring this together to come up with Lady Liberty Foundation from each of you?
Well, first of all, Grizz, I want to say thank you so much for having us on the show. We're super excited for your show and for to be one of your first guests. So that's amazing. Thank you for that. The other thing is Happy Red Friday. We need to remember all our brothers and sisters active duty that are out there still fighting the good fight. So we just want to give them homage and say thank you for that service. Noel and I have been, I as a first responder, Noel as an ex-military wife, that her ex suffered some PTSD and things, so it's near and dear to her heart on some of the things that come from being in the military. And really, it started with you.
It did. It started with me. I was frustrated. I still am frustrated with the ways our veterans are being treated, the way our first responders are being treated, and the fact that they didn't have a voice. And so I was like, you know what? Let me utilize the platform that I have to make sure they're heard. And I don't care how loud we have to be. We're going to make sure that there's waves made so that way there's a difference. And so that is where it all started. I had an angry talk with God in the shower, and I had some not nice words said and some screaming matches done, and came up with the military tributes, first responder tributes. And that connected me with you, Grizz, and many other veterans and like-minded first responders. And so it's very, very important that we keep what is important, the real heroes of America. We keep them on a platform like this, on a platform like TikTok, and allow their voices to be heard, because we have got to make a change. So that is how Lady Liberty Foundation started.
So what is the background and with Lady Liberty, what do you guys focus on? How do we get our names out? How do you guys, what's the ins and outs of it? Now, I know Noelle does SFX makeup. She does her military tributes and first responder tributes and all these tributes on TikTok. That like she said, that kind of brought us all together. That's a big thing. But what is the statement of the foundation?
So our foundation is based on like-minded individuals. We've created a community of veterans and first responders, and really just people that are serving, right? So nurses and doctors, and really anybody that just has a heart for service. That's really what we're about, right? Obviously, the military and the veterans and dealing with some of their issues, the VA, things like that, are at the forefront. It's a lot of the major issues that we have to deal with. But there's also a lot with the first responders and PTSD and the things that we have to deal with as being a first responder, the different ins and outs of what we have to deal with on a regular basis. So service-minded people are broken in a different way, right? So we have to be, this community that's created kind of brings us together for support. And not only that, once you're in a spot where you're hurting and you're in need of some counsel from other individuals that have been through similar experiences, you tend to get some healing yourself, and then you want to give back, because that's our heart, right? Just because you got out of the military, Grizz, like that doesn't mean you want to stop serving, right? You continuously serve. I see you, brother, on a regular basis, just pouring your heart out to vets in our group and helping them through some really tough times. And so I think that's really what it's about. It's about serving the individuals that need it, and then bringing them up to a point where they could serve again through our community. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I get a lot of comments on TikTok and when I have Facebook, and a lot of them are just basically saying thank you for not forgetting me, because a lot of them don't feel validated. A lot of them don't feel like they're seen. They feel like they did their service and that's all they were good for, and now they're just going to sit home and basically live whatever life that kind of is, and that's not true. You know, we have got to make sure they're heard, and that's why we have the Liberty Foundation, because a lot of them don't even know how to navigate the VA system. They don't. And I know I've sent some of them to you, and that's the way we've connected with, you know, certain veterans, is helping them get what they deserve as far as, you know, what their medical rights are or what their payout is going to be as far as, you know, the military goes, because it's not explained. It's really not in a way where some of them can understand it. So it's good to have this foundation to connect with other veterans that can help the mass of veterans get what they need. And obviously, you know, working with you, working with Ray, the places that we've chosen have already been vetted. So they're not going in there like a deer in headlights blinded. They're actually like, okay, I trust these two. I know whoever they're connected with, I trust that as well. I'm confident that something will get done and I'm going to get heard, and I'm not going to just sit here and wonder if what I did made a difference. Right. Because right now, that's exactly where we're at. I hear it on a daily basis. So that is how we connect through the Lady Liberty Foundation.
So I know with Lady Liberty Foundation, obviously there's a chain of command in there. Yep. So anybody that's out there that sees this, that wants to join or be a part of this, what are the steps that they need to go through to become a part of Lady Liberty?
So one of the first steps is to go to ladylibertyfoundation.org. That'll just get you connected, right? You sign up with your email. You're not going to get spammed. Anything you get is literally something happening or something that's going on. It's very rare that we're just going to blast you. That kind of gets the ball rolling, so you're connected, right? If you want to take it a step further and become a part of the Discord, which is that online community, that's the community where we have chats, we have live voice channels, we have a crisis room, and I think we're going to look at that a little bit later, right, Grizz?
Yes.
And that's where they can connect with me, they can connect with Noel, they can connect with you, they can connect with other like-minded individuals. You know, that's really that community that Noel and the team has created, right? Like that's the community. So, you know, there's all these different tabs, places you can go. But ultimately, if you email, like if you're just I want this right now, anybody watching, if you want this right now, then you would email administration or admin at ladylibertyfoundation.org. Say, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of Discord. And you fill out an application. The reason we have an application is because we have some pretty sensitive subjects sometimes. And we have some people that are healing from different things. Mm-hmm. And so we need to protect them at all costs.
Well, not only that, but I'm very protective of the veterans in there because I do not want them to be triggered at all. And Grizz will tell you, I am extremely protective of that. So I will not allow anything that is going to be detrimental to go into that Discord group, period.
That's
so
right.
A long story short, how I actually met Noel was through TikTok a few years ago. And I got into a really bad situation with some horrible people. And I was having stalkers and I was having all sorts of stuff. Noel was truly the only person that helped me get through that because she knew the circumstances behind it.
Yep.
And that helped me get through it. Yeah, I took a break from all social media, and Lady Liberty has been hounding me to become a part of them, and I finally did about 6-8 months ago.
That's right.
And
So
it
glad
is
you did.
definitely grown. As they said, I'm part of the crisis team for vets, and I've had those calls. I've been in those rooms with people that just randomly need to talk.
Yeah.
Now that definitely is something when we get into Discord that goes through Discord, but I know like when we do her TikTok lives, when we'll definitely show what she does on TikTok.
Yes.
When we're in those, if a vet's in there and gets triggered by something that's going on or something like that, me and one other gentleman get notified right away, and we try to talk them out of it, talk them down. That's where, I mean, where I actually came into them with them was through TikTok.
Right.
So now with Lady Liberty, excuse me, when was Lady Liberty founded?
So I'm going to go backwards. I took a break myself because I was frustrated with all the stuff going on. I was hurting for you guys because that was absolutely uncalled for. So we were wanting to make it more meaningful. I didn't want it just to be about me because it was Noelle's Ninjas. And I was like, well, I need to take my name out of it, and we need to make it more about a group, because it's not just me. It's several of us coming together and making this community. And so I actually did a makeup, a Lady Liberty makeup. It was actually done with a flag. And I got the comment all the time of Miss Lady Liberty, and I'm like, you know what? That would work. Let's use that. Let's turn it into Lady Liberty Foundation. And that is how we changed it. And I believe that change happened, oh my goodness, almost 8 months ago, 8 or 9 months ago. That change happened.
Well, we actually founded Lady Liberty January of 22. So we just hit our full year as an 23. LLC. Well, yeah, 23. Sorry, 23. So we just hit our 1 year anniversary as an LLC that's deemed as a nonprofit. We're still applying for our 501c3 status, but we are deemed as a nonprofit. So everything that we're doing is based on those rules with corporations. So I would say, yeah, I guess it's probably 6 to 8 months prior to actually setting that up.
Yep.
When we started the process and making that into something that was tangible, that was something that had room for growth.
Mm-hmm.
And then honestly, that had, because of the nature of what we do with talking to vets in a crisis situation, there's some liability there. And so we needed to limit some of that liability from our personal lives and our groups. So that's why making it into an LLC and a limited liability is what made the most sense, because God forbid, we're not able to help and something bad happens, and we're just trying to help, but we get stuck with the family's anguish and, frustration and so on. So we had to have a level of protection there. On that note, with the crisis teams, we're actually in the process of setting up where all of us managers, about 8 or 9 of us, and then anybody else that's in our Discord that would like to be certified crisis, like a crisis team member, like certified, that's our next big push, right? So we're getting one of our members is in the middle of his psychology degree. He will be deemed a trainer for a crisis team situation specific to what we do. And then he can in turn train all of us. So then we're certified as crisis team members. So that's a pretty big deal. Not a lot of people go through the process of getting there.
So now along those lines, so listeners can understand, if you're a part of this and say you're a female that's having a crisis situation, no matter what, if it's one of the crisis teams that's a male that's in there, there'll always be a female in there with you. So it's not just it's just not you and that person. There are always going to be 3 people, whether it's 2 males and another male, or 2 females and a female, or a male, female, and a female. There's always going to be 2 people in there that has different options and different, what's the word I'm looking for, you guys? thoughts that might be able to help you in your situation, because not one person's going to know all the answers or any answers, but having mutual people to talk to does help.
I think
Now, on the future of Lady Liberty, what do you guys anticipate or expect to happen in growth wise and reaching out to people?
I'm going to talk on that a little bit. It's always been my goal. My goal is to, and it's going to happen. We are going to get a separate piece of land, and we will have tiny homes for vets. We will also have tiny homes for first responders, and we will allow them to go through a process, which is basically implementing them into what they need from the VA, getting them settled and normalizing all of that, then moving them on to their own apartment, house, whatever. So we are basically a transitional home.
Right.
So that way they're not feeling stuck. They're not feeling like they're not going to get any help. And this will also not only help them with their VA benefits, but it'll also help them with their mental health. So.
Right. And that would incorporate some group talks, some around the fire conversations, helping them just navigate civilian life, right? A lot of these guys, we found that a lot of guys join the military because they don't have anything else. So this is where they're going. They're going to the military to figure that out. And they get back out, and guess what? They still don't have anything other than their VA benefits. And so helping them navigate those so they don't end up on the street. So they don't end up in a worse situation. So they are honored because of the service that they gave our country. And so it's just helping them transition. And Grizz, I mean, when you came out, we've talked about it before. There really isn't that much of a transition back into civilian life, correct?
There's absolutely none. They give you your release papers in your 214. There's no classes. There's no nothing. They just, you're done. And us as vets have to learn how to live in a whole separate world that we weren't attuned to being in the military. I mean, you go from having structures nonstop to nothing. So having classes like that, I believe, would truly tremendously help vets. That is one thing that I've always believed in, and I've brought it up, and doesn't seem like it goes anywhere, especially combat vets or anybody that's been deployed. They need to have like 6 months before you're out of classes that bring you back into knowing how to navigate through a civilian life, instead of knowing that you're going to wake up, you're going to put your kid on, you're going to grab your weapon, and you're going to go on a patrol, or if you're CONUS or stateside, you're going to get up and you're going to do your job and then you're done. There's got to be some sort of transitional class that would help vets learn how to go from being told what to do every single day to you have control of your own life now. And they got to figure that out. And that's a big problem, especially with homeless vets or vets that are in dire need. 90%, in my opinion, 90% of the vets that end up homeless come out of the military and don't have no avenue to do anything. And they get lost, and then they get lost in the winds of everything, and they're just on the street.
Yep. And they end up chasing the bottle, or maybe they have an injury and they're chasing those different narcotics that are given so freely. So
then too, like they tell us all the time that they feel like there's no purpose left because they've already served their purpose. And this is why we brought the petition to tuition, because we are trying to get our vets into schools and to allow them to tell their stories to these children, because it's important to sit there and make sure the children that are going to be the future of America know what our veterans have done. So that way they have the freedoms that they do. And not only that, but they were trained to protect. So they can protect our children at these schools. And that petition is located on our website. And that's another thing that's near and dear to my heart. So
it is. So one more question, then we'll take a quick break. When it comes to the help that Lady Liberty puts out, I've been there, I've been a part of it. If somebody reaches out to you and say, like what we had, there was an active duty Navy member that fell on hard times, and obviously they talked to you guys, and then it went to what we did. Can you explain the steps and how the steps that it takes for somebody that is asking for help what you guys go through to find out if they legit truly need the help or if it's a joke, to what we do after that to help them with what they can, with what we can.
So are we cutting to a break here in just a moment? Because that's a little bit of a lengthy discussion. I can dive into it and to get it started. We apply. If you know of a vet that's hurting, they have to be vetted through our process. So we go deeper into their background. We ensure that what they're saying or these bills or these trouble, these hard times that they're on are validated. It's not just somebody trying to get a free ride. That happens a lot on social media. Just so you guys know, be careful when you give your money because you really need to know where it's going.
Yes.
We've seen too many times that it's just getting spent on anything and everything and not exactly what was being promoted.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a vetting process. We have an application process. If you want us to help you, you need to open it up to us. We need to know exactly where you're at. We need to see where your bank account's at. We need to see what these bills are very specifically. We're not going to be like, oh, let's just raise them $5,000. No, we're going to raise you $2,672.97. Like that's it. That's what we're going to push for is exactly what you need and nothing more. So it's really important that we have that established. So we are all of our listeners and people that watch know and they understand like this is legitimately for what it's for, nothing more, nothing less. And every single dime that's raised is going directly to their Cash App or whatever means to help them specifically with those needs.
Right.
If we raise more, we'll give them a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so somebody gets vetted and you know they need help. So then where does it go from there?
So then we have a team meeting. We discuss what the best way would be. Sometimes we're auctioning items. Sometimes we're doing silly things, right? Like we're eating nasty jelly beans or some the super hot chips, things like that. Grizz, you've had to do the fridge challenge. That's where you go to the fridge, and if somebody puts so much in, then you'll go to the fridge and you pick 5 things out of the fridge. You got to put it all in one bowl and eat it. Nasty, gross, but we'll do that for our vets.
And sometimes just explaining the story and explaining, the severity of the situation and showing pictures like the little girl that was involved with her vet dad and things like that. It does tug on your heartstrings and people are willing to sit there and donate. And that's beautiful.
Yep.
So then again, like we're just explaining their story and I'm showing a video of, the little girl just being grateful because they weren't struggling anymore and just super, super happy and super loving and the dad grateful. So just stories like that, will obviously, pull at certain people's heartstrings and they'll be like, okay, I want to donate. And we tell them where to donate and everything goes where it's supposed to go. No one keeps anything. It goes straight to them. We're not getting paid on it. We are not getting paid on anything. This is all volunteer. And so, we like to be transparent with everything. It's important that you guys know where it's going. We're not Goodwill. We're not going to sit there and hide money, just saying. But we will show you receipts and we will definitely show you how it's impacted, who you helped.
And I wanted to touch on too, it's not necessarily just vets or first responders. I think about Phoenix. Beautiful little girl was having an infection, couldn't get rid of it. It was a really rough time. And we helped her father afford to go back and forth to the hospital that was 90 miles away. And we helped him kind of get through that really tough time. And it's not just vets and first responders. We just want to help and be service minded to any of the public that needs us.
Well, not only that, I'm going to say one more thing. We did help wolf dogs that were serving our veterans. So there are some groups that we help that serve our veterans. We are actually able to
rehome them.
Not only rehome them, but we got them, the $22,000 that they needed. And they were able to do what they needed to do with the dogs. They were able to do what they needed with the veterans to get them in there to do the programs. And so it's just variation of things that are helping other people.
Well, and that was like an emergency situation with a fire. So it was a matter of getting those dogs out real quick and getting them rehomed into a new area. And that was, we believe in that organization. So that was a rush. And it was a beautiful thing how many people showed up and made that happen. So whatever is we're led to do because it makes sense. We're just going to fight for it.
So I've personally been a part of these fundraisers, and my fishing jigs that I tie and donate, they get donated out on an auction level to help who needs help that's been, vetted and they know what's going on. So on that note, we're going to take a quick minute break. We're going to dive back in with this when we come back with Discord, so you guys can explain the ins and outs on what we have going on with Discord.
All right.
Restless heart, broken from the start, and you think that you must walk this path alone. Break away and love yourself today. You have to fight the bad thoughts in your mind, 'cause you will find your better off alive. Don't give your life away. You, my friend, you're worth it in the end. Don't give it all away. Restless minds, pacing all the time, giving in to someone's point of view. And over time, when you step back from that line, you see you're not alone, and we're all afraid. 'Cause you will find your better off alive. Don't give your life away. You, my friend, you're worth it in the end. Don't give it all away. And you will find your better off alive. Don't give your life away. And you, my friend, you're worth it in the end. Don't give it all away.
Hey guys, Noelle here. In honor of our soldiers, our military personnel that are currently deployed right now, I wanted to take the time to personally thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all that you guys do, even the veterans. I also wanted you guys to see our team and what they had written to you guys personally. I wish you all nothing but love and respect.
right, y'all, we're back. That's Noelle, and that's the makeup effects that she does. They're really awesome to watch, and she does it live on TikTok. She legit sits there for hours and paints herself for those tributes. I'm in there almost every one that she does, because they're just it's amazing to see the start to finish. It's one thing if you were to just see her videos, but to actually know that she sits there and takes that time out of her day to do that. And I mean, I think the shortest one I've ever sat in was 6 hours. I mean, it takes a lot for her to do that, and then she turns around and makes the videos. They're wonderful videos.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna bring up Discord, and what I want you to do is as I'm going through it, can you guys explain all the different channels that we have up here? So I would like if you guys to start at the top, and we'll go all through all the different pages that we have. Right now it's just on our general chat. That's where all of us can get in there, and it's just like, talking, texting, but there's 70 people in there that can respond to you and this and that. So when somebody joins Lady Liberty and they go into Discord, say they want to join Discord, not just help with the foundation, let's walk through from the top down on what happens.
Okay, so once you have applied, that is filling out an application, and you're signing a little bit of an agreement, just to that we're allowed to look at some of the other followers you may have or you may be following. We are very fluent in TikTokanese, in TikTok language, right? So we kind of know that there's definitely some creators out there that are not somebody that we want to associate with. So you're agreeing that we will be looking through and just kind of cleaning house if we need to make sure that we're not involved in any of some of the other groups, let's say, that are less than honest. Let's just put it that way. The other thing is, once you go through that process, we do the background check. We make sure you don't have any crazy felonies or anything like that could bring harm or anything to anybody in the group. Then you're introduced into the group. You go through a process of getting to know the Discord. You go through a process of getting to know everybody. We're reaching out, we're saying hello, we're making a connection. Also, there's a time when you get to meet with Noelle and I on a one-on-one. And that one-on-one is really important because we're able to see where your heart's at. Sometimes you're coming in the group and you're going to need a little more. You're going to need a little more love. You're going to need a little more encouragement. You're going to need that. Other times people are coming into the group and they're just ready to serve and help. And so we kind of figure out maybe where your best assets would be. Sometimes it has to do with Bible study. Sometimes it has to do with like our prayers. Sometimes it has to do with connecting with other vets, posting, helping with moderating, things like that. We just kind of get a feel for where you might be best suited. And then we implement that and we help you along the way. So you're really a part of the community and you want to stay, and it's humbling and helpful.
So the one-on-one time with you guys is tea time. And then I'm not a private meeting. That's obviously a private meeting. That's invite only type of meeting.
Yep.
And then we have these two right here. And we're now starting to do a group. We're Christian based. The foundation is Christian based. And absolutely, we do a Bible study right now every Thursday, and that's everybody. But there's also the man cave ministry where it's just men who get together and we'll talk. And then the women have the Fierce Phoenix, right, and they get in there, and it's the same thing. And then the family VC, we can all get together and just talk and have a good time. But we also do every night, we do prayer on there, where we'll get on there, and whoever has issues or wants to be a part of it can jump in. And if you're in need of any type of prayer, you just got to ask. Generally it's Larry or another one of our people that are running prayer. And then, we'll go down to the general chat. That's just this. You can get in there and just be goofy. I mean,
And there's us right now. See, somebody just posted us.
I wanted to say something real quick. There is a few people texting me right now because they're wanting to come into the broadcast and they're having a hard time finding it. So is there a way that I can sit there and send a link out or something?
Can we drop something in Discord right now, Chris?
I don't see why not.
Maybe Joel can, if there's a way to send us a link.
Yep.
Thank you.
So we'll keep going on this, and we need to figure that out. And this is all the different, like this, the spiritual guiding, you know, you can have your one-on-one prayer and then the family prayer and all of those different things. But the good thing behind this that I like is you go down right here to the server hotlines. You got your hotlines in the US, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, New Zealand, what that other word is. Those are definitely hotlines and suicide prevention lines. That's all in here. And obviously we have, you know, a group that there's for substance use, abuse. I'm assuming abuse. I mean, just straight up DV.
Right.
And then finances. That's where we can all get in there and help.
Well, real quick, Grizz, I think what's really important to note is that these are some just built-in resources that you can just go to. You need help with your finances, you can go in there. There's a lot of great information. You need help with substance abuse, you can go in. There's a lot of great information. But also, like, we're constantly adding to that. And then we have one-on-ones with people that specialize in things like that. That's why it's really important to have that initial meeting. So we really know how, you know, if you're a finance guy and you've been doing finance and helping people with finances, well, shoot, you know what I mean? How many people need to know how to work their finances, right? So it's things like that. We just want to be very resourceful and all encompassing, helping people get to that next level in life, just to kind of take that level up.
We have one comment on here. It says, when did you start the Man Cave Ministry and the Phoenix Warriors? Do you remember? Was it like 2 months ago, I believe?
I would say right after the first of the year. Yeah, because we decided that we need, you know, as much as we love our ladies and as much as they love us, there's just some things that we need to talk about as men that we can speak a little more freely if women weren't there, and vice versa. You know, they can talk about some of the things that they're going through. So we decided it made sense for us to have a separate group. That's a great question. It's been great. I believe
it's truly helped me. I mean, honestly, it's helped me a lot, especially having the Man Cave Ministry, because believe it or not, you get a group of guys together. There's stuff that, you know, women shouldn't hear. It is what it is. Same with women in the Phoenix Warriors. There's stuff that they're going to talk about that ain't no guy going to want to hear. They're going to want to tell us. Right. So that is a good thing. And I posted the link in Discord to hear Noel.
And anytime in any ministry, I mean, really, it's important. You know, it's not a dating site. It's a place for somewhere to come find your love, right? It's a place for healing. It's a place for growth. And a lot of times when you're in that process, you don't want to be, let's say, vulnerable, or you don't want to be really kind of, you know, shiny object, which would be a beautiful woman or somebody in the group, or like vice versa, you know, a good man that's a Christian. You don't want to be distracted by that. You really want to be able to focus on your own healing and getting through that. And that's why we really believe that men with men, women with women, and just to kind of, you know, prevent some of that, I can't think of the word, Grizz, but like get drawn away from distracted from the goals. The goal is about healing and growing and serving others. It's not a dating site.
Hey, Peyton, it's good to see you in here.
I shared the
if
link
we so let's go down. You got the first responders in the military part. This is the part that I really enjoy. Can you guys walk through each one of these and explain what they entail? And obviously, you know, the thin blue line, that's police. The red line, that's firefighters. The gold line, that's definitely Gold Star No, is that Gold Star families?
It is.
It is.
I put this together. Cody had helped me as well, because we basically said, those of you that have gone through a similar situation are going to understand each other more than somebody else from the outside. So these are specific little groups for the specific people. Like if you're a police officer, that's your specific group to go into there, vice versa. So that is what all of that is. We made it very specific so that way, you guys can connect with like-minded individuals that have been through the same type of situation.
Okay, we're gonna go to a quick break. It's a break's coming up, and we need to. We're gonna get more into this, especially with like the state VA database and uniform picks and all that type of thing.
The fact that our patriotism in America is dwindling, I really wanted to start the American AF movement. Freedom is fragile, very fragile. It takes a certain level of intestinal fortitude to stand up and say and do the right thing to preserve the freedoms that so many have paid a large price for. About being in the military, and that recruiter said, it's not Biden's army, it's your army, it's his army, it's his army, it's all of our army.
American tactical. American as fuck.
All right, so let's get into this. The obviously the thin blue line, like I said, is for police. The red line's firefighters. The gold line's Gold Star family, and then you have the nurses tab. Believe it or not, nurses struggle and have a very hard job, and that's I don't know nothing about it. I'm definitely not medical. There's no chance in that one, but I know they have an extremely hard job. My wife is an MA, and I mean, she talks about what she has to go through every night, and it's not something that I would ever want to do. What's the thin white line?
Give me a moment.
Is that EMTs?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. That's what it brought up. It's EMTs. You got the ambulance and stuff.
Yes.
So there's definitely an outlet for
paramedics, EMS. Yes.
EMTs to get in there and talk. So obviously, vets are going to be able to talk to vets better. EMTs are going to be able to talk to EMTs better. Same firefighters, police.
Yep, exactly.
So now I personally know a Gold Star wife, and I actually went through and helped her, and I know you're going to know who it is, start the PACT Act.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you know who that is. I don't really I don't want to say her name because I don't know.
It's
but
okay.
Me and her brought the PACT Act to the Senate, to the Congress. We did everything we could, and we got that to where it is now. That honestly, anybody can file for the PACT Act that's been deployed now, or in any sort of area where there's some sort of chemicals, which is really cool. So having a Gold Star family tab like that, there is a lot of Gold Star families out there, whether it's husbands, sons, daughters, wives, parents. That is an extremely good resource for Gold Star families. The uniform picks, that's a fun one because I'm on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are pictures I posted from when I was in the military, as soon as they're done doing that. But this is one of the fellow vets in there. So it's definitely fun getting in there and seeing some of the older pictures. These are all, that's color guard or honor guard.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, these are old pictures. That's Iraq. I mean, it's just fun stuff. I mean, that's just an outlet. So like, there we go. I mean, that's me right there. That little dude, it's fun getting those out there, and it's fun seeing other people's pictures. And then the patches. What are the patches? I don't know what they are.
So that is like basically for me. I am making what is called a patch wall. And so there has been many that donated their patches to me. So that way, when we do our tours and we set up our booth or we go into schools and we explain something, we can literally have that patch wall. And basically what that does in real time is it shows the validation of what that actually is. Like they're able to touch it, they're able to see it, they're able to be like, okay, I understand that. Instead of me just trying to be like, oh, and then we're connected with this group and that group. If they're able to visualize it on something that has been, given to me as, a blessing, that's what I call it. That's what I have created that for.
And it also has with the different deployments, so the different patches, so we can explain to the kids or to anybody else, or there may be other vets that are walking by going, hey, I got one of those, or I remember that, or that's from this. And it just kind of just a connection, I guess. Right. It's a good connection. For everybody.
And for what happened, the example, I've been sending it like the stallion patch with the picture of the person that sent the stallion patch. And so when we are going into these schools and we're explaining these stories, they can write, a letter to whoever that was if they feel connected to that veteran, or they can just, visualize the patches that have been given to us and create kind of like an art form, and we can send it overseas. So it's just a way to connect with not only the kids, but, if we're out somewhere and people need to visualize it. So.
And there's actually one of the things that kind of inspired us was at the OCC when we saw a really amazing patch wall. OCC, the Orange County Choppers. There's a spot here in St. Petersburg in Florida, and that wall is massive. And it's just a really cool representation of firefighters from all over the world that have contributed to that wall, including some burnt turnouts and some helmets and things like that. So it's just a really cool way to memorialize the hard work that goes into our services and men and women.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that there's all these avenues that, I mean, really that can touch anybody, and it can get to anybody that needs it. It's a great outlet. It's an amazing resource. I mean, I've met quite a few vets being a part of it. I've talked to quite a few vets, and it's just amazing how it happens.
It is.
Well, once again, I know that we're a little bit into the broadcast, but I want to say happy Red Friday, y'all. Remember, everybody deployed. Fridays are the day that we wear red, and we remember all the servicemen and women that are active duty, still out there fighting the good fight for each and every one of our lives and our peace and our freedoms. It's very important that we recognize that.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. I know there's a lot of vets that out there that just that are struggling, knowing they're in whatever country they're in right now, and not being able to. The best way I can explain it is when I was deployed, I didn't have my mom that I could just go see if I needed help with something. I had my brothers that I was with. That's all I had. And a lot of people don't understand how close you can get to your brothers in those circumstances because you have nobody else to talk to. I didn't have a phone that I could just call home and talk to my mom. I didn't have a computer that I can get on there and see her. I didn't have any of that. I had the guy standing next to me, sitting next to me. Doesn't matter if you got a Dear John letter or if you got a letter that was horrible news. I mean, my brother was married while I was deployed and I couldn't be there. And it's a hard thing knowing you don't have that avenue to get to. So vets that are deployed now can get on here and they have that avenue that they can reach out and they can talk to people that it's not just their brothers or sisters that they're deployed with, right? They can reach out and talk to you guys. They can talk to me. They can get experiences from other people, which I think it's just an amazing platform. Discord is a hard thing to learn. It's definitely a hard platform to learn. But once you get into it and you get talking to people and you start learning the different things, it's an amazing thing. And the fact that you guys took the time and you made this foundation and you have, the thin blue line, the yellow line, the red line, the white line, and you have the avenues where people can go. It's just an amazing thing.
I have to give credit to my amazing wife, Noelle, as well as Cody Aaron, Stacy, and Scully. And then Ray is now a manager as well. But they have absolutely, and there's Aaron just commented, they have absolutely, from their deepest place in their heart, dug deep and dove in and created this amazing platform and community for vets and first responders. So, I came in kind of at the end, and we sealed it all up and made it pretty, but ultimately they did the grunt work. And so Aaron, Scully, Stacy, and Cody, huge kudos to you guys for doing such a great job of putting this together. It would be nothing without you.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be more happy enough to know that I'm a part of something that I know. It's like we had one gentleman in Discord that reached out to me to talk, and holy cow, I'm not obviously not gonna bring up his name, but the stuff that he had told me, I can understand what was going on.
Right.
And he needed that avenue. And I know you guys have seen it. We've seen a complete change in his whole demeanor, how he talks, how everything, all because he reached out and talked to somebody.
That's right.
It's such an awesome thing. And I can't be more excited to be a part of it. I'm ready for it to grow, to reach out to more people and to hopefully help more vets and first responders that are falling on hard times or just struggling with mental issues. Believe it or not, men's mental health, it is something else right now. It is really, really, it is a struggle for men. And the fact that we can get it out there and talk and get people to talk about it, it is a big deal, because no matter what, men try to hide everything we do. And I think that's just ingrained in us from kids.
It is. And you just said a mouthful, like, we're supposed to suck it up. We're supposed to be tough. That song that Dax has all over the place, it really hit, because we're not supposed to speak out. We're supposed to be tough. We're supposed to be strong for our wives, supposed to be strong for our kids, supposed to be strong for everybody around us, supposed to be strong for our brothers. And then, a lot of times we feel so isolated that, who's strong for us, Hey, Joel, who's strong for us. And one of the things that I wanted to mention that I thought was very important is the simple fact of, like, we just sent off, what are those letters? Where do we get all those letters? We had schools.
So
and kids.
We had over 325 letters that were done by elementary school students, and those were sent off overseas.
And pictures.
And pictures done.
Pictures.
Yep. Just thanking our heroes, the real heroes of America. Those were sent overseas to, certain individual that is currently deployed.
Yep.
And to give out to the other soldiers that are with him. So that way they know that they're not forgotten, and to see things like that.
And I didn't realize how important that was, because,
It's a big deal.
even talking with Ray, our guy, he's leading our veteran services manager. And, he says, no, I still have a little card that was made for me when I was deployed. That was made for me when he was deployed. And, for him to be out for over 20 years now, and to still have that little card that he got from some random kid while he was deployed sitting on his dresser, it just really spoke to me and how important that is. Right. We also were getting letters from students. And if anybody is a school teacher or is involved with a school teacher,
or if you're in a group that you guys, I know there's a lot of groups women groups that they like to write letters to our servicemen.
Yep.
We encourage you to send them over to us so we can actually get them out and get them in the hands of real-time military.
Yeah, and we just need them. Send them to us, and then we'll get them sent out.
Okay, we're gonna go into another break, and when we come back, we're gonna dive into your makeup effects.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd stare down the barrel of a gun. I'd walk through the lion's den. I'll fight to save my family, even if it means my end. This world is hard enough without the ones you love. If it ain't me, who's gonna hold a gun? I'm playing the dead man's game, like sheep led to slaughter. The devil's here to take your soul, but blood is thicker than water. Standing at the gates of hell, I'll have to play their game. The price is high, but I've refused to forget her name. No borders, no walls, only God can part the sea. It'll take more than the devil to burn down this tree. No borders, no walls, through the deserts I will seek the righteous path and bring them to their knees. There's no line a man won't cross for his family. Scorned and convicted for crossing the line. Since when did one in heaven become a crime? They just want to plant their seeds amongst the pines for a chance at something better. They'll give their life. No borders, no walls, only God can part the sea. It'll take more than the devil to burn down this tree. No borders, no walls, through the deserts I will seek the righteous path and bring them to their knees. There's no line a man won't cross for his family. On American soil, their roots have run dry. It'll take holy water from the tear of an angel's cry. No borders, no walls, only God can part the sea. It'll take more than the devil to burn down this tree. No borders, no walls, through the deserts I will seek the righteous path and bring them to their knees. There's no line a man won't cross for his family. Standing at the gates of hell, I'll have to play their game. The price is high, but I refuse to forget her name.
You going back in?
There's still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? You some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Hey. Your mic, brother.
You're muted.
So, sorry.
That's okay.
That's on me. But that last ad or that last commercial talking about, you know, it's about your brothers that are with you. Unless you're in that position, you ain't gonna know. You'll never understand what it's like. And I mean, that's a lifelong brotherhood that won't go anywhere. I'm sure, Larry, you'll understand, you know, being a firefighter, that there's a connection there that you won't have with anybody else. So on those lines, Noel, what brought you into doing your makeup that you do?
Well, it goes back to that shower moment. I grew up in dance and piano. I grew up as a theater major. So with that being said, I already had the skill set, and the meltdown that I had in the shower because I was mad about how you guys are being treated and how there's no validation and I'm going to do something about it. And I was just, it had me change what I was doing from the glitz and glam part of it to, okay, I'm going to do tribute art. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to do it. And so I started with our 5 branches. I went into first responders. Then I went into the 101, the 82nd. We did Navy SEALs, so on and so forth. There's so many that we've done. And every single one is either brought on by a comment that's posted, hey, can you do this? Absolutely. Or it's placed on my heart that it needs to be done. And each one that I do, before I do it, I pray about it. We come up with the image and we just go for it. And what you see is what you get with videos. So
the true talent, she has true talent. Now you guys understand, especially on TikTok when you're doing live, she's doing everything backwards. Yes. And it comes out. I mean, you've seen the clip that we had on there. I mean, the stuff she does is truly amazing. She not only does that, but she also paints.
I do.
And when you're doing your painting, do you get requests for that, or do you just go off on what is in your head?
What I've been doing lately, so the paintings I do are donated to causes because we like to help. There are maybe some that might be commissioned depending on what people are requesting. But that all started again with helping our veterans and first responders because that is my number one goal. So I guess you could say they're requests, but they're more so requests through the, things that we're doing as far as raising funds for our military and our first responders. So,
or other causes.
Yeah.
Other causes, rare diseases, things like that.
It's awesome. I mean, it's something that I don't know. It's satisfying watching you. Like my daughter always says when she watches people playing with slime or whatever, it's so satisfying. I mean, it truly is one of those you can sit and watch and you just get mesmerized with how you can do that backwards, which blows my mind. And then seeing the finished product and you're watching step by step on how it goes. It's something else.
Well, so for me, not only is it healing for others because they're feeling validated, they're feeling that they're seen, they're feeling that there is an importance of what they've done, but it's also allowing me to heal because there is a healing process through art. And so when I'm doing that, being in a community that is appreciative of what I'm doing and they're able to allow others to grow because it's actually pushing it forth and it's bringing other people together, it's not only helping you, but it's helping me, right? And they actually just did a research about art being good for your mental health and actually having it part of a healing journey. And so that's, I don't know, that in itself is a gift, I guess. And I don't know, I'm just grateful that I'm able to speak with what I'm doing to, other vets and first responders. And yeah.
So as we wrap this up, Larry, can you explain the coins and the bracelets?
Yeah. So if you go to ladylibertyfoundation.org, you can purchase bracelets. So just a preface to this is that we don't usually ask to raise money for ourselves. It's pretty much self-funded by us. The events that we do, the tributes that we do, the things that we do specifically for vets or whatever the tribute may be, or the cause, that all goes through us and right back out. However, we are currently trying to raise some funds right now because we want to all get crisis trained, including you, Grizz. It's important. So we have that knowledge and that skill set to when somebody's on the edge, we're able to help them back away from that edge and find a new purpose, right? That's really the goal, right? And of course, I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't mention that purpose is to find some type of relationship with our maker, with our Father, right? That's the goal. But I guess we could show, I don't know if you could see that. There's some, that's kind of funky. See the,
no,
they're the rubber bracelets. One says, our heroes aren't forgotten. Veterans' life matters. God's children are not for sale. They're awesome bracelets. I have a few.
And then not all heroes wear capes.
And then we have a challenge coin as well. So that is there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you guys can.
And those are just a few things that we're using to raise some funds. But we're also doing a big push right now. Lady Liberty FND on Cash App or PayPal if you'd like to donate to the cause.
So the website is going to be ladylibertyfoundation.org. There is all the information on there. There's other things that you can actually go in and purchase if you'd like. And there's also a donation tab in there as well. The coin is also on there. So just go in there and see for yourself what's on there. If you like something, great. If you just want to donate, great. If you want to become more and help with the cause, awesome.
And we're in the process of t-shirts and some other things like that. And just we're growing.
Well, I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to join in my debut on this. This is a foundation that's near and dear to my heart. And I mean, that's everything. It's so much right there. I mean, it's something that is just truly amazing. And I want to thank you guys for jumping in and doing this with me and explaining the story behind it. It's an amazing foundation. That's not it. It's Lady Liberty Foundation.
Ours is Lady Liberty. Yeah.
Foundation.org.
Yeah. .org. I don't know who that is. Kudos to them too.
So thank you guys so much. And we're getting ready. This is over, and I want you guys to stay tuned because next week's going to be a fun one. Same time, same bat channel. I'll be on here. It's definitely a military veteran is my guest, and that's all I'm going to say. You guys will have to tune in next Friday at the same time, 4:00 Eastern time. And it's going to be a fun one. So you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for jumping in here and explaining this foundation for everybody to understand.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate you, brother.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk